Unlikely alliance. In the year 2157, a sleek alien vessel entered Earth's orbit, setting off alarms at the United Nations Space Command. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, the world watched with bated breath, uncertain if this marked the beginning of a new era or the end of human civilization. The ship landed gently in the middle of the Sahara Desert, and a delegation of Earth's top leaders cautiously approached, flanked by an elite unit of soldiers. The tension was palpable as the alien craft's doors whispered open, revealing a group of slender, ethereal beings with luminescent blue skin and large, gentle eyes. "Greetings, people of Earth," the alien leader spoke, its melodic voice instantly translated by a small device on its collar. "We are the Zephyrians, and we come in peace." Over the next few weeks, the Zephyrians shared their harrowing tale. They were refugees, fleeing the ruthless Krodax Empire that had conquered their homeworld and enslaved their people. Earth was their last hope, a place to rebuild and protect the remnants of their once thriving civilization. Moved by the Zephyrians' plight and impressed by their advanced technology, Earth's nations unanimously decided to grant the aliens sanctuary. The Zephyrians, in turn, shared their knowledge and resources, helping humanity make unprecedented leaps in science, medicine, and space exploration. As the months passed, the bond between humans and Zephyrians grew stronger. Cultural exchanges flourish, with alien art, music, and philosophy spreading across the globe. The two species worked side by side to fortify Earth's defenses, knowing that the Krodax Empire might one day come knocking. Their fears were realized when a massive Krodax warship appeared at the edge of the solar system, transmitting a chilling message: surrender the Zephyrians or face annihilation. Earth's leaders were faced with a choice: hand over their alien allies and appease the Krodax, or stand firm and risk interstellar war. In a historic moment of unity, every nation on Earth came together to issue a resolute response. To the Krodax Empire, "The Zephyrians are under our protection. They are our friends, our partners, our family. We will not abandon them to your tyranny. If you want them, you'll have to go through us." The stage was set for a showdown that would determine not only the fate of Earth and the Zephyrians, but the balance of power in the galaxy itself. As humanity braced for the coming storm, they drew strength from the unbreakable bond they had forged with their alien allies, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Drawing the line. The Krodax warship loomed ominously in the void, its massive hull bristling with weapons that could reduce planets to smoldering ruins. On Earth, a sense of grim determination settled over the populace as they prepared for the impending confrontation. In the United Nations Security Council, leaders from around the world gathered to coordinate their defense strategy. "We must stand united," declared the American president, her voice unwavering. "The Krodax think they can bully us into submission, but they have no idea what humanity is capable of when we come together." As if in response to the president's declaration, the Krodax ship began to move, slowly at first, then with increasing speed as it entered the solar system. Earth's early warning systems lit up like Christmas trees, tracking the hostile vessel's approach. The first salvo came when the Krodax entered Mars' orbit, firing a barrage of plasma bolts at the red planet's defenseless surface. It was a show of force, a brutal demonstration of the Empire's might. But Earth's forces were ready. From hidden bases on the Martian moons of Phobos and Deimos, human fighters launched, their sleek forms cutting through the void like silver arrows. The Zephyrians had shared their advanced propulsion technology, allowing Earth's craft to match the Krodax ship's speed and maneuverability. The battle was joined, human and Krodax ships weaving intricate patterns as they exchanged fire. The humans fought with a ferocity that stunned the Krodax, their pilots executing daring maneuvers and sacrificing themselves to protect their alien allies. Back on Earth, millions watched the live feeds with a mix of fear and pride, marveling at the bravery of their defenders. In the streets, people held vigils and rallies, their voices rising in a chorus of support for the Zephyrians and the brave men and women fighting on the front lines. As the battle raged on, it became clear that the Krodax had underestimated humanity's resolve. The Imperial commanders, used to cowing lesser species into submission, were taken aback by the tenacity and skill of Earth's forces. Realizing that they could not win this fight without sustaining heavy losses, the Krodax ship disengaged, retreating to the outer reaches of the solar system to regroup and reassess their strategy. On Earth, the news of the victory was met with jubilation and relief, tempered by the knowledge that this was only the beginning. The Krodax would be back, and next time, they would not be caught off guard. In the halls of power, human and Zephyrian leaders met to discuss their next move. They knew that to stand against the might of the Krodax Empire, they would need more than just courage and determination. They would need to innovate, to adapt, to push the boundaries of what was possible. As the meeting adjourned, the human president turned to her Zephyrian counterpart, clasping his hand in a gesture of solidarity. "We drew a line in the stars today," she said, "and together we will make sure that the Krodax never cross it again." The Zephyrian leader nodded, his eyes glinting with a fierce determination. "Our fates are intertwined now," he replied. "And together we will forge a future where all species can live in peace and freedom." Ingenuity and courage. In the wake of the first confrontation with the Krodax, Earth and Zephyria entered a new era of cooperation and innovation. The greatest minds from both worlds came together, pooling their knowledge and resources to develop cutting-edge technologies that would give them an edge in the coming war. In secret laboratories hidden deep beneath the Earth's surface, human scientists and Zephyrian engineers worked tirelessly to create weapons and defenses that would turn the tide of battle. They developed new alloys that could withstand the searing heat of Krodax plasma weapons and energy shields that could deflect even the most powerful blasts. But the centerpiece of their efforts was a daring plan to strike at the heart of the Krodax Empire itself. Using advanced stealth technology and the element of surprise, a small team of human and Zephyrian operatives would infiltrate the Empire's capital world and sabotage its central command center, crippling its ability to coordinate its forces. Leading the mission was Captain Lena Okafor, a battle-hardened veteran of Earth's Special Forces. At her side was Zelan, a brilliant Zephyrian strategist who had lost everything to the Krodax and burned with a desire for revenge. As their ship slipped silently through enemy space, Lena and Zelan reviewed their plan one last time. They knew that the odds were stacked against them, but they also knew that failure was not an option. The fate of both their worlds hung in the balance. When they finally reached the Krodax homeworld, they found it a bustling metropolis of towering spires and gleaming metal, a testament to the Empire's power and wealth. But they also saw the signs of oppression and decay, the scars left by centuries of ruthless conquest and subjugation. Infiltrating the command center was a harrowing ordeal, a deadly game of cat and mouse as Lena and Zelan evaded Krodax security forces and planted their sabotage devices. But even as alarms blared and enemy soldiers closed in, they never wavered in their resolve. With seconds to spare, they made their escape, watching from orbit as the command center erupted in a massive fireball that lit up the night sky. The Krodax Empire had been dealt a devastating blow, its ability to wage war crippled by the courage and ingenuity of two determined adversaries. News of the mission's success spread like wildfire across the galaxy, inspiring hope in the hearts of all those who had suffered under the Krodax's tyrannical rule. On Earth and Zephyria, people took to the streets in celebration, hailing Lena and Zelan as heroes and saviors. But even as they basked in the glow of victory, the two warriors knew that their work was far from over. The Krodax would not take this defeat lying down, and they would be back, more powerful and determined than ever. In the halls of power, human and Zephyrian leaders redoubled their efforts to build a coalition of allies, reaching out to other species who had been oppressed by the Krodax and urging them to join the fight for freedom. As the galaxy held its breath, waiting for the next move in this cosmic game of chess, Lena and Zelan stood ready, their bond forged in the crucible of battle and their resolve unshakable. They knew that the road ahead would be long and hard, but they also knew that together they could face any challenge and emerge victorious. United we stand. As the Krodax Empire reeled from the devastating attack on their capital world, the human-Zephyrian alliance worked tirelessly to capitalize on their momentum. Emboldened by the success of Lena and Zelen's mission, other species who had long suffered under the Krodax's rule began to reach out, offering their support and resources to the growing coalition. Among the first to join were the Valyrians, a proud warrior race known for their unparalleled skill in hand-to-hand combat. They were followed by the Quixans, a species of brilliant engineers who had been forced to build weapons for the Krodax for generations. As more and more allies flocked to their banner, the once impossible dream of defeating the Krodax began to seem within reach. But even as they celebrated each new addition to their ranks, the leaders of the alliance knew that the real test was yet to come. Intelligence reports indicated that the Krodax were massing a fleet larger than any the galaxy had ever seen, a staggering armada of warships and fighters that stretched across the stars. They were coming, not just for Earth and Zephyria, but for every species that had dared to defy them. In response, the Alliance gathered its own forces, a ragtag fleet of ships from a dozen different worlds, each bearing the scars of its own struggles against the Krodax. At the head of this motley armada was the UES Endeavor, a massive human battleship that had been retrofitted with Zephyrian and Valyrian technology. As the two fleets converged in the skies above a barren moon, the tension was palpable. The Krodax ships seemed to stretch out forever, a wall of metal and firepower that blotted out the stars. But the Alliance ships, though fewer in number, glinted with a fierce determination, a resolve forged in the fires of oppression and tempered by the unbreakable bonds of friendship. The battle that followed was like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. Ships clashed and exploded in bursts of fire and shrapnel, while fighters danced and dueled in a deadly ballet. The Krodax fought with the desperate fury of a cornered beast, but the Alliance pilots matched them move for move, their skills honed by months of training and a lifetime of hardship. At the heart of the battle, the Endeavor and the Krodax flagship, a monstrous dreadnought bristling with weapons, locked in a titanic struggle. The two ships pounded each other with salvo after salvo, their shields flaring and buckling under the onslaught. But even as the Endeavor took hit after hit, its crew refused to yield. With Lena at the helm and Zelen manning the weapons, they'd fought on, pouring every ounce of their skill and courage into the fray. In the end, it was the Alliance's diversity that proved to be the deciding factor. Each species brought its own unique strengths to the battle, from the Valyrians' ferocity in close combat to the Quixans' technical wizardry. Working together, they were able to outmaneuver and outfight the Krodax, exploiting weaknesses that no single species could have discovered on its own. As the Krodax flagship exploded in a blinding flash of light, a cheer went up across the Alliance fleet. Against all odds, they had done the impossible. They had beaten the Krodax Empire. But even as they celebrated, the leaders of the Alliance knew that the hard work of building a lasting peace still lay ahead. The Krodax had left a legacy of pain and destruction that would take generations to heal. But with the same determination and unity that had carried them to victory, they knew they could face any challenge. And as the Alliance ships set course for home, Earth and Zephyria at the forefront, they carried with them a new hope for the future, a vision of a galaxy where all species could live in harmony and where the bonds of friendship would always triumph over the forces of tyranny and oppression. A new era. In the aftermath of the decisive battle against the Krodax Empire, a new era dawned across the galaxy. The once mighty Krodax, their fleets shattered and their leadership in disarray, had no choice but to surrender, their dreams of conquest and domination brought to a bitter end. On Earth and Zephyria, the news was met with an outpouring of joy and relief. After so many months of fear and uncertainty, the threat of annihilation had finally been lifted. In cities across both worlds, people took to the streets in celebration, their differences forgotten in the shared euphoria of victory. But even as they celebrated, The leaders of the Alliance knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult. The scars left by the Krodax's tyrannical rule ran deep, and healing them would require more than just military might. In the weeks and months that followed, the Alliance worked tirelessly to bring aid and support to the worlds that had been ravaged by the Krodax. Human and Zephyrian engineers helped rebuild shattered infrastructure, while Valyrian and Quixen medics tended to the wounded and traumatized. At the same time, diplomats from all the allied species came together to forge a new framework for galactic cooperation. They created a council, modeled after Earth's United Nations, where each species would have an equal say in shaping the future of the galaxy. Central to this new order was the principle of unity and diversity. The Alliance had proven that by working together, species of all kinds could achieve the impossible. Now they sought to enshrine that lesson in the very fabric of galactic society. As the weeks turned into months and the months into years, the galaxy began to heal. Under the guidance of the Alliance Council, new trade routes were established, cultural exchanges flourished, and scientific collaborations pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Earth, once a backwater world on the fringes of galactic civilization, found itself at the center of this new era. Human ingenuity and determination had played a key role in defeating the Krodax, and now other species looked to them for leadership and guidance. But even as they stepped into this new role, the people of Earth never forgot the debt they owed to their alien allies. The Zephyrians, who had come to them as refugees seeking shelter, were now cherished friends and partners. The Valyrians and Quixens, who had fought side by side with human soldiers, were honored as brothers and sisters in arms. And Lena and Zillan, the heroes who had struck the first blow against the Krodax, became living legends, their names spoken with reverence across the galaxy. Though they bore the scars of battle, both physical and emotional, they found solace in each other's company and in the knowledge that their sacrifices had not been in vain. As the galaxy entered this new era of peace and cooperation, the Alliance Council erected a monument on the moon where the decisive battle had been fought. It was a simple obelisk of gleaming metal, inscribed with the names of all those who had given their lives in the struggle against tyranny. But more than just a memorial, the monument stood as a symbol of hope, a reminder that no matter how dark the night or how daunting the odds, the light of unity and friendship would always prevail. And as the people of Earth and their alien allies gathered around the monument, gazing up at the stars that had once been the domain of the Krodax, they knew that they had not just won a war, but forged a new future, one where all species could live in harmony and where the bonds of friendship would endure for generations to come.